this thing off.
I was just exploring the little. Got it. I was just exploring the little icons at the bottom here. I never really look into them.
Yep, there's lots of things you can do. It's Halloween weekend. You can
All right.
put masks on too. Just take this. No. Oh.
Thank you. Lesson 131. Who went to get a book? Somebody said, I heard someone say they're going to get a book. Jen, you want to read lesson 131? That's what I just got told. And I probably need it today. I'm in the middle of my shift, which is a good thing. Always something going on. If there's nothing going on, there's, it must be a real place. Fran's connecting. We'll wait for Fran for a second. Oh, hang on. I got a phone call about what's going on for me. Good. All right, 121. Bernadette, put your book down. Just listen.
Did you say 121 or 131?
Oh, what did I say? 131. Sorry, 131. Yeah.
Okay.
When you're ready.
Okay. Lesson 131. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. Failure is all about you while you seek for goals that cannot be achieved. You look for permanence in the impermanent, for love where there is none, for safety in the midst of danger, immortality within the darkness of the dream of death. Who could succeed where contradiction is the setting of his searching and the place to which he comes to find stability? Goals that are meaningless are not attained. There is no way to reach them, for the means by which you strive for them are meaningless as they are. Who can use such senseless means and hope through them to gain in anything? Where can they lead? And what could they achieve that offers any hope of being real? Pursuit of the imagined leads to death because it is the search for nothingness. And while you seek for life, you ask for death. You look for safety and security, while in your heart you pray for danger and protection for the little dream you made. Yet searching is inevitable here. For this you came, and you will surely do the thing you came for. But the world cannot dictate the goal for which you search, unless you give it power to do so. Otherwise, you still are free to choose a goal that lies beyond the world and every worldly thought, and one that comes to you from an idea relinquished, yet remembered, old yet new, an echo of a heritage forgot, yet holding everything you really want. Be glad that search you must. Be glad as well to learn you search for heaven and must find the goal you really want. No one can fail to want this goal and reach it in the end. God's Son cannot seek vainly. Though he try to force delay, deceive himself, and think that it is hell he seeks. When he is wrong, he finds correction. When he wanders off, he is led back to his appointed task. No one remains in hell, for no one can abandon his Creator, nor affect his perfect, timeless, and unchanging love. You will find heaven. Everything you seek but this will fall away, yet not because it has been taken from you. It will go because you do not want it. You will reach the goal you really want as certainly as God created you in sinlessness. Why wait for heaven? It is here today. Time is the great illusion. It is past or in the future. Yet this cannot be if it is where God wills his Son to be. Yet this cannot be if it is where God wills his Son to be. How could the will of God be in the past or yet to happen? What he wills is now. Without a past and wholly futureless. It is as far removed from time as is a tiny candle from a distant star, or what you chose from what you really want. Heaven remains your one alternative to the strange world you made in all its ways. Its shifting patterns and uncertain goals, its painful pleasures, and its tragic joys. God made no contradictions. What denies its own existence and attacks itself is not of him. He did not make two minds, with heaven as the glad effect of one, and earth the other's sorry outcome, which is heaven's opposite in every way. God does not suffer conflict, nor is his creation split in two. How could it be his Son could be in hell when God himself established him in heaven? Could he lose what the eternal will has given him to be his home forever? Let us not try longer to impose an alien will upon God's single purpose. He is here because he wills to be, and what he wills is present now, beyond the reach of time. Today, we will not choose a paradox in place of truth. How could the Son of God make time to take away the will of God? He thus denies himself and contradicts what has no opposite. He thinks he made a hell opposing heaven and believes that he abides in what does not exist, while heaven is the place he cannot find. Leave foolish thoughts like these behind today and turn your mind to true ideas instead. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. And it is truth we seek to reach today. We will devote 10 minutes to this goal 3 times today.
That's enough.
Okay.
Why wait for heaven? It is here today. Why wait for heaven? It is here today. You know, when Jesus says you have ears but don't hear, that's the whole problem. If somebody told you that there was a cyclone about to hit your house in 10 minutes, you'd be packing all your shit and getting out of there real quick. You'd be active. You'd be onto it. You would activate yourself. Why wait for heaven? It is here today. It's the same thing. It's closer than a cyclone. It's closer than a hurricane. It's right here and right now. And yet those words really mean nothing. If you truly heard those words, you would draw your circle and you would refuse to do anything else in this world other than sit and wait until the memory of God was restored to you. You would demand it. You would absolutely demand it because it is your right. You are a child of God. But those words fall on deaf ears. Why wait for heaven? It is here today. That's why you have to refuse to listen to the temporal mind, refuse to listen to that ego mind that tells you, oh, I'll try again tomorrow. And Jesus is very gracious. He lets you off the hook and he says, perhaps today, perhaps tomorrow. But God is calling right now. And you can feel the love of God stirring within you right now, if you want to. But you're always up against your own back programming. You're always up against your own backstory that goes, nah. There's a little nah. Not going to do that today. Nah. I've got to pick up the kids from school, or I've got to do something else. Death is the inevitable conclusion of this particular episode in time and space for anyone who does not come to their own experiential understanding that heaven is here and now. Like in the beginning of that lesson, an experience beyond the world with nothing to do with the world. That's where the rubber hits the road. Do I want it or don't I want it? The answer is, well, I don't want it. I'm saying yes, but I'm always living in the experience of my no. But at some point, yes occurred to me. At some point, in time, which can still be billions of years off, which you will experience in those billions of years, just as you are experiencing them here and now. At some point, you did wake up. You had a moment of remembering. The course just teaches you how to be miracle-minded so you can learn to collapse time and bring that moment to you, rather than have to walk in a linear fashion through the years and years and countless millions and billions of years until it might happen wherever it is along your own individual timeline. And everything that we do in these Zoom meetings, say, or in group things like workshops, if you go to workshops or whatever, but all of these things are kind of fake. This is an individual pursuit. And everything that we're doing in here cannot do anything more than bring you to a realization that you've got a job to do and you've got to get on with it. Don't be hanging out in Zoom rooms. Don't be going to workshops. Find your Father. It is within you now. The kingdom of heaven is within you now. You've got to make sure that you're not just becoming a Zoom room junkie or a Course in Miracles junkie, reading it and loving what you're reading, but not actually really wanting it. And that's where you have to put your finger here and go, well, hang on a minute. I'm telling myself I'm on a journey to enlightenment. I'm telling myself that I'm looking for God. But am I really, or am I just goofing? Every step in this journey is hard. Every step in this journey is up that slope, steep, and there are a few people that you find there. That's Jesus in the teachings of the New Testament. The gates to heaven are open wide and everyone goes in there, but the path to heaven is steep and hard, and you don't find many people on that journey. If this journey is not steep and hard, if it's not confronting, if it's not absolutely pushing every button you've got every moment of the day, you're not on the journey. And I borrowed that from Byron Katie. The work is always before you. Oh, no, it was Gangaji. Sorry, not Byron Katie, Gangaji. But the work is always in front of you. It's like every day I can sit here for 1,000 years looking at my relationships and wondering what they represent to me, wondering what's going on in this one, what am I looking at here, what am I healing, and all of this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, all of that purification only brings me to a point where I recognize somewhere, even if it's very, very dimly, that I'm actually supported by a higher power. All my prayers and my meditation, I seem to get a little result here and a little result there. All my prayers and meditation are for that. It's like there is some other kind of thing going on here. I know it because I've been praying, I've been meditating, I've been doing this stuff, and there's something else going on, call it a divine presence in my life, that seems to assist me, seems to support me, seems to sustain me. I am sustained by the love of God, lesson 50. Now, don't you want to know what that is? Or are you just going to hang out in this kind of state where you're constantly supported by it, but without any kind of real passion to want to know what it is? Because your Father absolutely wants you to remember him. Try to think of it that way. My Father, my true Father. My true Father longs for me to remember him. Where is it in your heart that you long to remember your Father? Where is it in your heart that you would lay down your life, that you would give up your world in its entirety to remember your Creator? That's where it's real. I'm not there yet, Jesus. I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. You're not going to be there tomorrow. You got to feel it. You got to feel it within you. God damn it, my Father. I want to remember my Father. And those of you who have the older bodies, the older avatars, should damn well want to remember more than those of you who have the younger avatars. For exactly the same reason that Jesus said, let him who is without sin cast the first stone. And all the old people walked away first. There's a place within each of us where these words push that button, where you do long to remember your Father. But your ego would have you not dwell in that place. Your ego would distract you. Your ego is not your friend, and you must not listen to it. You have to train yourself. I'm not going to listen to this freaking voice in my head that tells me maybe tomorrow I'll sit and meditate. Maybe tomorrow I'll be still. You got to push. You have to refuse to listen to that voice, and you have to push. Take into account what's at stake and take into account what's on offer. Make a decision. There's no point scrubbling, putting stuff all over Facebook saying, oh, my father this and my father that. You don't even know what that is. Everybody posting up quotes from Course in Miracles on Facebook and social media and shit. Why? Why are you doing that? What a waste of time. Why seek for heaven? It is here and it is now. This is where the rubber hits the road. This is the tough love. This is that place you can't budge from, you can't escape from. This is what nobody wants. Nobody wants to hear this. That I have to actually practice what I preach, to be still and to remember. If I don't remember my Father, what the hell am I doing? What am I remembering? A process of spiritual purification in the world that I can teach to others? Well, that's kind of the highest purpose you can have here, but it's still nothing. What is that in eternity where no time ever entered? It's nothing, and eternity is your home. Eternity is your natural state, the eternal state. You're not this flesh. You're not from here. This world is not your home. Stop trying to make it comfortable. It's not your home. You don't belong here. There's a whole experience waiting to happen in your mind, which you access through the heart, through the prayer of the heart that God put there himself. There's a whole experience waiting to happen in your mind that will show you unequivocally where you're from. And it's not here. You're a traveler. You're a traveler in the journey of the soul, and you find yourself stuck in this loop of reincarnation, of time and space, of birth and death, all of which is false, but you find yourself stuck here nonetheless, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. How many lifetimes have you had without salvation being offered to you? How many will you have continuing on from here without salvation offered to you? Where will you pop up next? A baby born in a jungle tribe in the middle of Africa? Never heard of Jesus? Never heard of salvation? In China, where religion is not allowed, almost. It's like, don't waste time. repurpose it. Repurpose time to serve you. That's the whole point of the course. You're here to learn to collapse it. Learn to use time on your behalf. There's not one of us that's more smarter or less smarter than another one regarding that. We've all got the same book of instructions and the same ability to ask for help. How do I do this, Jesus? But if you're not asking, if you're reading the book but not actually connecting with your Father, the whole purpose of the book is to listen, learn, and actually do. Do means to do something, to activate yourself. Do you want to remember your Father? And I can tell you, it is going to take you into the most uncomfortable, gut-wrenching place. It's going to take you to that place at the depth of your fears, which is why we are learning to confront our fears rather than to run away from them. You have to face your demons, and you'll see that they are actually nothing. The fear of love being the worst one. There's nothing there to fear. In that place where you fear love, where you fear to love yourself completely, there's nothing there. But you have a memory of what it was like when you came through from the other side. There's this whole into eternity we're all is one, correct, a tiny mad idea thing going on there, or the fall from grace going on there, or a war in heaven going on there, whatever it was that you ran away from and fell into this dream. And it was terrifying. And going back is exactly the same. It's terrifying. You have to go back the same way you came in, through the mind, through a tiny little portal, a tiny little moment. And you'll find that in meditation. I've had many people say to me that they were meditating and suddenly they started to get incredibly fearful. It felt like they were being swallowed up and they stopped the meditation. I'm telling you, don't stop. Let yourself be swallowed up. Fall into the void. Let it happen. Let yourself go through with that whole feeling of like you're being sucked down the plug hole and you can't get out, as if you're going to lose yourself forever and go completely insane. Let that happen. That's what it feels like. When I had the dark night of my soul, it was the worst. They don't call it dark night of the soul for nothing. It was the worst experience of my life. It was so dark and it was so deep. It's as dark as you can get in the world. Beyond that, there is only God. There is only love. It's the very end. It's the end of your life, of your old life, and the beginning of your new life reborn. So we're going to do a meditation today, a light meditation. And I know I'm being heavy on the pushing this home and trying to drive it in because I know how hard it is to hear this. When we do our meditation, try to get a sense of how much you want to remember your Father. Fran, you're close. You keep bouncing off. You get a sense of it and then you keep bouncing off it. That's particularly a pattern of many who think they still have time. Tina, push. All right, so we're going to draw a circle. It's the same sort of circle Jesus drew in the desert when he said, fuck it. And he walked out into the desert and drew, I don't know if he said fuck it, but he drew a circle and he sat there for 40 days and 40 nights to face the devil, to face his own temptations, to be purified of them, so that they had no power over him in his ministry. And he was rewarded with the vision. Our circle is the same. It's no different. There seems to be walls and windows around you and couches and comfortable furnishings and whatever's going on, but there isn't. The world is a desert. Jesus says in the book, the only thing to do in a desert is to leave. All of this is nothing. If you were living in Buckingham Palace, it's nothing. It's lipstick on a skeleton. We try to make it look appealing. We try to make it something that we feel like we're comfortable to live in. But we don't ask why we even bother to do that. Why do we feel uncomfortable if we don't decorate our home? Because somewhere we know we're entitled to comfort. Somewhere we know we're entitled to feel loved and to feel the warmth of sure protection always. But we can't find it within ourselves, or we don't want to find it within ourselves, so we try to make it how we think that might look outside of ourselves. Like a bowerbird building a nest that might attract a mate. This is no small feat. This is all about feeling. You can't work this out with your brain. You can't work this out with your thoughts. Your thoughts don't mean anything. So close your eyes. Paula, sit up. No laying down. Don't want anybody falling asleep. Sit up. And before, we'll use, as we always do, a little creative visualization. But before you envision a golden circle before you that you're going to step into for healing, for meditation, for whatever you bring into it, remind yourself what you're about. I really want to remember my father. It's probably not going to happen in this Zoom meeting. But we're going to set the ground plan. We're going to set some kind of a sense of it, so that when finally it dawns on you how much you do want to remember your father, you'll fall into a place of stillness. If it does happen in the Zoom meeting, I'm going to take off all my clothes and run around going, Eureka! Much to Tina's chagrin. It is the most incredible thing in the universe. It is beyond, there's no words to describe it, the memory of God. There is nothing that compares to it. And when you remember your father, when you have the experience of it, you will not want anything else ever again. It is so powerful. The most beautiful things on earth are like a pimple on an elephant's ass compared to, like, that's even a terrible analogy, but so take a few breaths, close your eyes. Shannon, close your eyes. Try to relax. Let go of the day, the night, the whatever it is where you are. If you've got an itch, scratch those itches, get it out of your system until you feel good to just simply sit and be still. Father, here I am. I'm going to draw my circle and imagine Fran with eyes closed a circle before you, a circle wherein we're going to step into to die to our old self, to be reborn anew, to leave behind everything you think means something to you, your family and children, your jobs, your wealth, your fame and popularity, your social status, everything, your concerns, your fears, your joys, Barry, everything. Never to be seen again, perhaps. Or perhaps you'll come back here and help me. It's a threshold within your mind, a place you access through meditation and through the prayerful action of the heart that asks for it. Father, I want to remember you. Draw that circle. Have a look before you as if you are standing in a forest or standing in an open field, and suddenly you find a gold circle on the ground in front of you, a healing circle, a circle well used. And when you're ready, step into it. If interfering thoughts come into your mind, let them go. If you have other things goes on in your house, ignore it. If someone knocks on the door, ignore it. If the phone rings, ignore it. If you get a pop-up on your computer, ignore it. Stay focused. This is about total focus, total singular-mindedness. I'm here to remember my Father, and that's it. I'm not interested in anything else. I'm here to remember my Father. It's time. I want to remember God. Take a few deep breaths. Keep your eyes closed. There's nothing outside of you that can help you do this. It's all inside. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Breathe. Let go of the world. Here I am, Lord. Here I am. I want to remember you. Push. Push. Push into the stillness. Push into being silent. You'll probably have Course in Miracles thoughts pop in and out. I'm not a body. I'm free. I'm still as God created me. Fran, close your eyes. Be still. And push deeper. Push, push beyond the clouds, beyond the haze that seems to be the limit of consciousness, beyond the nothingness that seems to be there apart from these echoes of old thoughts. Ignore them and go past them and beyond them. Breathe. Father, here I am. Into thy hands I commend my spirit. Give yourself to God. Here I am, Lord. Here I am. Push, Barry. I know you can feel it in your heart right now. Put your hand on your heart and you'll feel more. Feel it. Father, I can't go on another day. I don't want to go on another day in this world without knowing you. I'm prepared to face all my fears. I'm prepared to go through all my blocks. I'm here and I'm not going to adjust. I'm not going to budge. I'm not going to listen to the world. I am staying put. I want to remember you, and I want to remember only you. Oh, thank you. Yes, push. Jennifer, feel. Open your heart. Don't be afraid of your feelings. How much do you want to remember God? You're going to be laying that body down at some point quite soon. Make use of the time you got now. There is nothing more important for you. There is nothing more important than this. Remembering God. Some will find it in the lessons we do today. Some will find it in death and rise again to teach it. Some will find it in experience that is not of the world. Ask and ye shall receive. Knock and the door shall be opened. Be still and know that I am God. Be still. That means good, Tina. Good. That means don't fidget in the body and don't fidget in the mind. Be still. To the letter of the word, still. Find that perfect stillness within you. Master that perfect stillness within you, that perfect inner peace, and wait there. Here I am, Lord. I want to remember. I want an experience. You have to ask for it with all your heart, all your power, all your mind. If thoughts of unworthiness enter your mind, let them go. That's just arrogance. You are a child of God. You are not unworthy of anything. If fear enters your thoughts, let it go. You are a child of God. There is no room for fear in you. Breathe and feel. Go deep. Go deep into the stillness. Close your eyes. Breathe. Yes, good. Push, Francois. You have to activate yourself. You have to reconnect with yourself through the heart. The mind and the heart serve together. The mind makes the decision to be still and silences all talk, all internal chatter. And the heart gives the passion to go beyond. The prayer for awakening that God himself put on your heart is waiting for you to release it. I just want to love and be loved. I only want unconditional love. I want to remember my Father. I'm done with this world, this stupid world of war and disease, the suffering of children, the persecution of the innocent, the stupid justice systems and the medical fraternities, all of it. It's rubbish. It's ridiculous. I can't go on another day in this world having to deal with the ins and outs of the insanity of my own thoughts about everything. I need an experience that reminds me of my truth. Yes, Anna, good. Push. Bernadette, come on, push. You're going to die tomorrow. tomorrow. The hurricane is going to destroy your house tomorrow. You have this moment until then. Push as if there's nothing else, because there is nothing else. Yes. Good, Tina. Good. Push harder. You ready? Push. Father, I want to remember you. Want to remember you. I can't take it anymore. You've got to be done with the world. Give up the world and follow me. Meditation takes you to a doorway, an internal doorway, to another part of your mind, beyond the 5% that you use to navigate the world. To your higher mind. Jesus calls it in the Course the miracle level. Father, embrace me. Lift me up. You've got to feel that. Not because I say anything about it, but because somewhere in you that's true. It's good, Kevin. You've got to feel it. Breathe. Keep your eyes closed. There's nothing out there. Don't listen to thoughts that come and go. Don't be distracted by them. Focus. Keep bringing yourself back to the stillness. Bring yourself back to stillness. Train your mind to stay there and push into that stillness as deep as you can. With everything you've got, with all your determination. The whole power of your heart and mind is in that stillness. Here I am, Lord. I'm like a freaking Zen master. It's not about where your hands are. It's not about your posture. It's an action of mind. This all happens in a single instant. I want love. I want to remember. Breathe. When you finish your meditation and you go back out into the world is going to represent the same old nothingness again. Its purpose is to distract you and to keep you enamored with all of the shiny things, the dangly baubles and beads that the world offers. And it's easy to succumb to that because you're used to it. You need to train yourself to get used to being still. You need to practice. Every day should be devoted to miracles. Breathe. Push, Tina. Push. Push. Father, here I am. I'm more determined than I have ever been. I'm not going to leave this circle. If my body dies of starvation and thirst, I'm not going to leave this circle. The great Sufi poet Hafiz sat with his master for 40 years, trying to reach enlightenment. One day he realized it wasn't going to happen, so he left and he reached enlightenment. Your way is your way. How it happened for you is how it happened for you. It's how you feel about it. It's how in touch with it you are that brings it to you. How badly do you want to remember your father? More than the world? Do I want it that bad? Maybe. Is there a kind of a malaise over realizing what it is Jesus is offering me? Definitely. There is a veil, a mist across the mind that dulls the senses and makes the awareness of this offering kind of dumbed down. You have to push through that. You have to rise up and claim your inheritance. You are the spirit, not the flesh. I am the spirit, not the flesh. Like St. Francis, cast off all of his clothes, threw away all his possessions, and walked naked out of his village in front of everybody. In his determination to represent his father and to do his father's bidding, to rebuild his church. Can you find that in you? Can you find that passion in you? Would you walk out of your village naked to do your father's work? Would you leave behind everyone and everything? Good. Yes. Push. Good, Tina. Father, here I am. Not another day will pass without your memory. Not another day. This is for you. The gifts of God are mine today, and today is the day I will claim them. The gifts of God are mine today. Yes. The gifts of God are mine today. Thank you, Father. When you see God, you will fall on your face. You will literally fall on your face. And you'll be completely unharmed. Good. Push. Push into the stillness. Here I am, Lord. You'll start to get jerks and spasms and all sorts of things happen. You'll feel weirdness when you get right to the edge of the limit of your consciousness, right to the edge of the containment of your vessel, of your body, to the edge of your belief system. Push. like a baby bird hatching out of an egg. Break out of it. Break free. Like a butterfly coming out of the chrysalis. Push and break free. I have no use of this chrysalis. I have no use of this world, this body, this egg. Activate yourself. Feel. Feel. I want to be free. I want my freedom. I want my release. I want to remember my Father. I want everything that is promised to me in this course that I've been reading all these years. Push. Ha ha! Ha ha! Ah. Ah. Feel it. Here I am, Lord. Push into that stillness directly ahead. Right here and now. Push. Those thoughts cannot distract you if you don't let them. Those interfering thoughts cannot distract you if you refuse to listen to them. Break free of that malaise. Break free of that dumbing down. Break free of that dense nothingness that seems to stifle your determination. Awaken. Woo-hoo! Breathe. Feel. Good. Good. In my country, the ancient Aboriginals, when they were no longer useful to the tribe, when they were too old to be helpful, they would go on their spirit walk. They would walk off by themselves into the desert and find a rock. And they would sit on the rock and wait for the dehydration to expire their bodies so they could rejoin their kin in the spirit. So they could become one. It wasn't an idea, and it isn't an idea of dying. It's part and parcel of the purpose of their whole life. There's an acknowledgement that they've done what they came to do. They've been as helpful as they can be. As they start to become a hindrance to the nomadic nature of the tribe, it's time for them to move on and continue on with their other tribe, with their star tribe. In the spirit. It's a joyous happening. It's a happy time. They have no fear of death. Death is not something that's part of their thought system. If you tell them that you're afraid to die, they'll look at you quite strangely. They won't know what you're talking about. It's foreign and alien to them. They have the same belief that we have written in the Bible, which was handed down to them 60,000 years ago, that God made the first man out of the earth and breathed life into him. 60,000 years ago. The Dead Sea Scrolls are only 6,000 years old, where we draw our Bible from. The book of Genesis, the Peshitta texts and the Dead Sea Scrolls. $60,000 years ago. They've been walking their truth for 60,000 years. No fear of death. It's not part of their thought system. The Western mind has made it part of its thought system and put up incredible blocks regarding it. I'm afraid to die. I have conversations with people and I tell them I can't wait. I'm ecstatic to lay this body aside. And they recoil from me in terror as if I'm insane. The third block to the presence of the awareness of love within you, God's love within you, is the fear of death. And yet we die daily. And Jesus tells us we're not really afraid of death. We're afraid of what lays beyond. Afraid of love. Because we think we will be annihilated and consumed in the oneness of love and lose everything now that we think we are. And yes, you will, but you'll still be you. But you'll be at home and you won't want to be anywhere else. In the same way, when you're a child and you're with loved ones and you're at home and it was warm and you didn't have to worry about anything. You played with your siblings and your friends and you did whatever you did. Hopefully you had a happy childhood. Breathe. Push into the stillness. Demand your release. Demand it. Jesus says in the Course, you will eventually demand your release. Not in fury, not in anger, but because a recognition that you're entitled to it, that it is your inheritance, becomes an abiding point of view, becomes an abiding place, an abiding thing, an abiding idea in you. I'm entitled to remember my father. There's nothing stopping me from remembering God, but that I don't really want it. Because somewhere you're afraid to go through the void. You're afraid to enter into that moment of finality. If you could remember what was on the other side, you would enter into it all the time. Like that. It's beautiful. But all of those fears block the way. Fear of death, the fear of love, the belief the body is valuable, the desire to get rid of peace. Yes. Be still, Tina. Be still. Focus more. You got stuff going on there. Become more determined and use it. Bring one robe and follow me. This is a real thing. You've got the book. You can't deny what it says. I'm sitting here. I'm telling you, I've had the experience that the book's telling you that you have to have. A universal experience is not only possible, but necessary. Necessary. The whole point of all the lessons, the whole point of the mind training and the miracles is to bring you to a point of revelation readiness. Revelation. Try to imagine what that is. A revelation of God. A divine occurrence that transcends the world and lifts you up into the spheres, into the celestial spheres of your own divinity. Angels, heavenly beings, the whole thing out of this world completely. No one really believes in those things in this modern world. We're called insane if we believe in those things. Trust the science, trust the medicine. But I've seen those things. Everything, almost everything that Jesus says in that course about the experiences that you can and will have has happened to me. Almost all of them. Post-enlightenment, but they've happened. I reached a place in my heart and mind where I couldn't go on. I couldn't take another day in this fucking world, one more minute, one more second. I hated it. People suffering and struggling, living in poverty and sickness. They're my brothers, and I know they're my brothers. I feel a connection to them. My heart reaches out to them and wants to help end their suffering, wants to bring them happiness, wants them to be free, free of oppression, free of judgment. And it brought me to my knees. I couldn't stand it any longer. There was nothing I could do about it, and I couldn't stand it. There was nothing I could do to stand by and watch my brothers suffer, to endure my own suffering. The Buddha says that life is suffering. Fuck the Buddha. He's right, but fuck him anyway. I've had enough of suffering. I'm done with it. And now my mind is at peace. I have no problems. I have no conflict. Anything that seems to show up for me, I'm able to deal with it in exactly the same way that I deal with everything else nowadays, miraculously. I don't know, Father. I'll leave it up to you. I step back from everything these days, and life goes on regardless. Love always finds a way. Water flows downhill to the sea. It finds its own way. You are beings of light. You are the most radiant, beautiful beings of light. These bodies that seem to imprison you as a conscious entity, that's not even what you are. Fran, you're not that body, and you're not that agglomerate of thoughts that seems to inhabit a body, looking out through eyes and feeling through senses. That's not you at all. You're somewhere else, asleep and dreaming that you're a Fran in a world doing a Course in Miracles. You're somewhere else completely, where God would have you be in eternity. Like in the movie The Matrix, you're in that red jelly. It doesn't sound very glamorous, but I assure you eternity is much more. You're in the red jelly, dreaming that you're living in a world, talking to people, doing things, none of which is so. It's all virtual, just molecules and atoms and ideas whizzing around, taking the form of reality. I'm done with giving it a meaning. I'm done with calling it suffering. But my ideas of suffering brought me to my knees. My ideas of injustice brought me to my knees, brought me to that place in my heart where I couldn't go on, where I was willing to give my last breath, either in death or in awakening. I was either going to find God or I was going to die. I was going to end my own life if I didn't find God that day, that night. That's the place I was at. I'm telling you, you don't have to die, not physically, but there's a part of you that dies. There's a part of you that cannot go past that portal in consciousness. It's like a leech that hangs on and sucks on you and sucks your blood. And when you go through that portal, the leech is broken off and you're free of it. And you won't ever let it attach to you again. That ego, that dark thinking. Yes. Push into the stillness. You've got prayer and you've got meditation. You've got prayer and you've got meditation. Use them both wholeheartedly. Use them in conjunction with each other. Meditation into the stillness of your mind. Perfectly still. More still than the Buddha. The Buddha reached a point where he could not go on, and he sat down under the Bodhi tree with all of his teachings and all of his learnings, and realized that the only place that he hadn't looked was within himself, in his own mind. And he sat under that tree come hell or high water and did not budge until he had the illumination. Jesus went into the desert and did not budge until he had the illumination. It will be exactly the same for you, however it is that that plays out. You've got meditation and prayer. But you need self-honesty for those. Am I following Jesus? Am I giving up the world? Or is everything I'm doing now just an adjunct to daily life? Is it just like a hobby? Or is this my life? Am I giving it absolutely everything? Am I putting myself out for God? Am I giving my all, my whole heart to the sonship? Or do I just do it when I've got 5 minutes a day to do my lessons? Can I give more? Can I do more? Can I be more still? Can I be more determined and more forceful and direct in my practice? When you look at the world and you look at the imagery and what it might mean to you out there, look with open eyes. Let it affect you. Let it affect you. Let it crush you. Let the world crush you under its boot heel. Because until you're done with the world, good. This is the tough lesson. This is the tough lesson. This is where all the accounting comes to rest. This is where I get off the fence and I make my choice in my meditation, in my prayer. There's no more room for lip service. There's no more room for half-heartedness. It's all or nothing. Barry, can you read that lesson, please? 131.
Yeah. 131. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth.
Just listen. Keep your eyes closed and listen. Listen to Barry's voice. Your brother in Christ. Listen to him.
No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. Failure is all about you while you seek for goals that cannot be achieved. You look for permanence in the impermanent, for love where there is none, for safety in the midst of danger, immortality within the darkness of the dream of death. Who could succeed where contradiction is the setting of his searching and the place to which he comes to find stability? Goals that are meaningless are not attained. There is no way to reach them, for the means by which you strive for them are meaningless as they are. Who can use such senseless means and hope through them to gain in anything? Where can they lead? What could they achieve that offers any hope of being real? Pursuit of the imagined leads to death, because it is the search for nothingness. But while you seek for life, you ask for death. You look for safety and security, while in your heart you pray for danger and protection for the little dream you made. Yet searching is inevitable here. For this you came, and you will surely do the thing you came for. But the world cannot dictate the goal for which you search, unless you give it power to do so. Otherwise, you still are free to choose a goal that lies beyond the world and every worldly thought, and one that comes to you from an idea relinquished yet remembered, old yet new, echo of a heritage forgot, yet holding everything you really want. Be glad that search you must. Be glad as well to learn you search for heaven and must find the goal you really want. No one can fail to want this goal and reach it in the end. God's Son cannot seek vainly, though he try to force delay, deceive himself, and think that it is hell he seeks. When he is wrong, he finds correction. When he wanders off, he is led back to his appointed task. No one remains in hell, for no one can abandon his Creator, nor affect his perfect, timeless, and unchanging love. You will find heaven. Everything you seek, but this will fall away. Yet not because it has been taken from you. It will go because you do not want it. You will reach the goal you really want as certainly as God created you in sinlessness.
Yes.
Why wait for heaven? It's here today. Time is the great illusion. It is past or in the future. Yet this cannot be if it is where God wills his Son to be. How could the will of God be in the past or yet to happen? What he wills is now, without a past, and wholly futureless. It's as far removed from time as is a tiny candle from a distant star, or what you chose from what you really want. Heaven remains your one alternative to this strange world you made and all its ways, its shifting patterns and uncertain goals, its painful pleasures and its tragic joys. God made no contradictions. What denies its own existence and attacks itself is not of him. He did not make two minds, with heaven as the glad effect of one, and earth the other's sorry outcome, which is heaven's opposite in every way. God does not suffer conflict, nor is his creation split in two. How could it be his Son could be in hell? God himself established him in heaven. Could he lose what the eternal will has given him to be his home forever? Let us not try longer to impose an alien will upon God's single purpose. He is here because he wills to be, and what he wills is present now, beyond the reach of time. Today we will not choose a paradox in place of truth. How could the Son of God make time to take away the will of God? He thus denies himself and contradicts what has no opposite. He thinks he made a hell opposing heaven. believes that he abides in what does not exist, while heaven is the place he cannot find. Leave foolish thoughts like these behind today. Turn your mind to true ideas instead. No one can fail, seeks to reach the truth. And it is truth we seek to reach today. We will devote 10 minutes to this goal 3 times today.
Good. That'll do.
Yeah.
The thing you're always up against is your own malaise, your own inaction. You have to remember that ego does not want you to remember God. It would rather have you kill yourself, throw yourself off a cliff, than to remember your Father. Time is always against you. That's why you have to focus on love. Really sit with that idea of love, loving everyone unconditionally. Sit with it until it begins to mean something to you. I remember going to a rainbow festival before rainbow was associated with the LG whatever thing. But I remember going to this rainbow festival and everybody there seemed to be so carefree and loving, except for me. I had all these inhibitions about my body. There was naked people everywhere. I had all these inhibitions about my body and about what people might think about me, whether I fit in there or not. It was fucking horrible and I hated being there. Everyone was empowered. Everybody had a good sense of themselves. And I felt like an outsider watching some kind of show going on. The whole time that I was there for a week, I felt completely uncomfortable in my skin. I went down to the river where everybody would wash, and I had to get naked to go in the river, of course, and wash, and everybody's in there washing. Nobody gave a shit who's naked or not naked, whatever. And when I came out, I would scramble to put my clothes back on. I felt uncomfortable in my body, and I didn't know why. It made no sense. And one day I went down to the river, and when I came out, there was 2 girls that were putting ochre, this earth, dried earth, like a clay, all over people. There was some sort of workshop or something going on there. And I knew I had to do it. And I went and stood naked with those people. And I let the girls put the ochre all over my body, all over every part of my body. It didn't mean anything to them, but it was incredibly confronting to me. And I walked around in the ochre for about 2 or 3 days. It dried on me like dust, like dirt, this orangey, yellowy kind of dirt. Apparently good for your skin. But I walked around, I went to dinner naked. And I don't know if it was, I felt like I had a second skin, that I felt invisible with my ochre on or whatever it was, but it was still very confronting. And when I finally left that place, I remember there was a feeling of being glad that I was leaving, actually. And there was so much more stuff that went on there. But the fears that came up around my body and around everything else was intense. But when I got home, back to my normal life, I realized what an incredible thing had happened. And I wanted to be back there more than anything. I realized that for once in my life, way outside of my comfort zone, I actually got a glimpse of freedom. I actually got a glimpse of what I thought freedom might look like. And it hadn't really dawned on me before that. I just convinced myself that I was kind of free and that I could go to work every day, pay my bills and taxes and everything, and not have to do anything that confronted me or made me feel uncomfortable. And that was my version of freedom. But I really pushed my limits. Of course, in those days, I didn't realize that my limits were in my mind. I had to do it in form. I went to that festival in the body, of the body, and participated in it through the actions of the body. But it was all in my mind the whole time. Everything about this world, everything about my beliefs of myself goes on in my mind. The idea that I can't do this, the idea that I'm never going to find that place of total honesty, of total surrender. Don't listen to those thoughts. You have all the power in the universe within you right now to do whatever you want, including remember God. That's your purpose. Your purpose is to remember, to awaken. And I would give any one of you my entire life, my whole everything to help that happen. Only you can decide whether I'm helpful to you or not. But at some point, you have to reach the conclusion for yourselves that I'm no longer helpful, that the course is no longer helpful. And you have to enter into that circle in your mind with full determination and remember your Father. Everything on the earth is a temporary measure. It has temporary purpose and temporary value. Everything on the earth is a coming to. I'm coming to a point of finality. I'm coming to a point of surrender. I'm coming to a point of infinite irrevocability. You don't need to be a Zen monk. You don't need to be the Dalai Lama. You don't need to be Ramana Maharshi. You are perfect as you are. You've got everything within you right now. And I call you as God calls you to remember, to remember. Because I remember how beautiful you are. Without those bodies, without that skin. I remember. Do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes. Push your limits however you think you need to push them. Step out of your comfort zones. Go and get yourselves into trouble. Do whatever you can. Break the mold. Crack the egg. Get out of that cocoon. Activate yourselves. Good. Tina, lesson 137, please. Any questions? Good. Ah, that's good. Fran, good. Fran, there's a thing that happens in your meditation. There's a thing that happens in your efforts where you push up against something in your own mind. You get to a point of stillness there, And then you stop to examine whether that's the stillness. All right? Just be vigilant for that. As soon as you stop to examine whether that's the stillness, you take yourself out of it. There is the stillness. Just stay there. That's actually the edge of your consciousness. It's the limit of the parameters of time and space in you. It gets scary beyond there, but just, you know, I see you do it in your mind, like we're connected there, and I'm like, wow, you're so close. And then you get to like this thing, and it's like, boom, like bumping your head against an invisible wall. And then you stop to go, what's that? You know, there's a funny thing that happens, and I can only explain this because of the illumination of my mind. And there are people in the world that are like, you know what a savant is, people that just can remember, they can read a whole book and remember every word on every page and all that sort of stuff, or they can look at a picture or a landscape of a city and they can draw it perfectly, every window and every person, including what they're wearing, and their mind contains the entirety of what it is that they're about. And for most of us, we have this kind of very, very diminishing. We can sit all day and look at a vista of perhaps the city of Tokyo or something and study it for the whole day. And then when we get home, we're like, I don't remember what the hell it looked like. You draw some tall buildings and maybe a bridge and you're like, I think that's it. But there are people that can look at it just once for a second and they'll go home, and they're called savants. You know, they'll just draw the whole thing. So there's a thing that happens in my mind. It never used to happen before enlightenment, but it happens now, and I take it for granted. Jesus says in the Course, I'm aware of the revelation readiness of all my brothers everywhere. Now, when my wife left me, when she walked out the door for the last time and I was behind her, walking her out to the car, she was at a place in her mind where she didn't want any of the furniture in the house because it reminded her of me. She didn't want anything to do with these old energies. She wanted to move on into something totally new. And I could feel that sense of running. If she'd have had Nike shoes on, she would have sprinted out that door to the car to get away from everything that this represented to her, which was the collapse of her thought system, which is exactly what's going to happen to you guys. Right? But I was aware in my mind, and this has happened several times. She's probably one of the most vivid examples. I was aware in my mind, if she had just made a choice in that moment not to run, she was going to reach her enlightenment. It was right there. I could taste it in the air. I knew it in my mind. I don't know how I knew it. I just knew it. I could sense it with every fiber of my being. It was closer to me than my own sense of self. It's like, this brother's about to awaken, but because of free will, she had to make her own choice about it. But her association with the terror that she was feeling was projected onto our relationship and my uncompromising stance. I would not compromise for her, and it pushed her right into a corner. You guys are going to be the same. I'm threatening you with your own perfection. You're whole and perfect. And there's nothing you can say about it. When we do our meditations, when we do our light sessions, like when we used to do light sessions up the back here, we've only just recently sort of stopped, but especially with Brother Dean. Some of you know Brother Dean, that comes on very occasionally here. Brother Dean has been through so much shit. The death of all his siblings at a young age, the death of his father, his whole world collapsing, his whole journey through mental health and the health system, and just constantly, like, it's just intolerable, his story. when he goes into his meditation, when he goes into his, and I'm not saying his story has to be that horrific, but when he goes into a place of surrender, I feel him surrender. Like I can feel you, Fran, in my own mind. I can feel it. You touch something, and it's like I'm on the other side with my hand on the veil. And it's like, oh, that's Fran. She's pushing. I don't know how it works, but I know that I feel it. I know that I sense it because we are all one. This is only one mind. Quite often I'll have people will come to me and they'll be like, Course in Miracles, what's that? And within 3 or 4 months, they'll have undergone such incredible shifts in consciousness that I will literally feel their shift. I will feel the whole thing. It's like I can feel it with you guys. Bernadette gets close and then she bounces off and goes into other spirals of stuff. It's like everybody has their thing where they adjust and sort of wander away again. But you can't tell. This is the thing that I wish I had a way to talk about this, but you can't really tell when it is you're at the edge of consciousness. You'll just find yourself popping out into a whole nother thing. You don't even realize you're at the edge. It's like one thing stops and the next thing begins. It's like there's my teacher Greta used to talk about it as a little twist or a little boink, a little something that happens in your mind. It's like a tiny little step. She used to talk about it as, where you'll be in your meditation and you'll be so deep. All of a sudden there's this little kind of gadunk, and then boom, there's light. It's like stepping across a threshold. And when you're near that threshold, we used to do meditations. We used to do standing meditations in the healing center, and there would be 60 to 100 people there some days. Everybody, like evangelical with your hands in the air and whatever. We would have that similar sort of thing, where everybody would be thronged together in the middle of the room. There'd be music on. Ted would be talking and guiding the session somewhat. But everybody who has been doing the workbook lessons of the course that was kind of tuned in and that was actually putting in a lot of practice and a lot of effort, we could all feel each other. We could feel the connection where 2 or more are gathered. There's a whole sense of something, and you would often see and often experience yourself as part of a throng, maybe 20 or 30 people within that room of 60 or 100 that would suddenly be gelled together. I had many times where I was standing on the outsides of the circle. I'd arrived late or whatever, and I was standing on the outsides of the circle. I usually like to be in the middle, standing on the outsides, and my body would be moved by the Spirit without me doing anything, just pushed as if somebody was pushing me into the middle. And in the middle, there would be this incredibly powerful and condensed sort of metaphysical thing going on where everybody was experiencing the same moment, the same thing. It was a really, really, really incredible, and that would be every day. Every day. If you go to Wisconsin, any of you guys in the States, if you go to Wisconsin Dells, to the where the old man, right, Deer One, the original Deer One, where he used to teach before he passed, and go and see those guys there. They probably still do that type of meditation. It is incredible. And Tina, I think you should go. You would be welcomed with open arms, and Anna the same. But I don't know what goes on there today, but was it you, Tina, told me you just joined that page? All right, so just check with those guys. What the hell happens there still?
Yeah, I see them every Sunday.
Right, good. Pack a bag, pack lightly, off you go. Forget about your house, forget about your job, forget about everything. Just go and let it be miraculous. You got nothing to lose. Fran, same thing. Or come to Australia, whatever. It's probably a little more convenient just to, I don't know how far it is from where you guys are, but I think Wisconsin's like in the middle of everything, isn't it? Or sort of. But like, just feel it out. Feel it out. There's a thing that happens in that meditation. It's like, man, when I enter into when I enter into it in my own mind, just like that, there's a proficiency or a presence of every mind that is in that same experience or pushing towards that same experience, or I don't even know how to talk about it. I don't have a language for, like, I don't think anything's been written in meditation about that. If it has, I haven't read it. Maybe I need to write it. But Jesus talks about it, I guess, as the holy instant where minds are joined. And I've had so many experiences that minds are joined, like literally joined. One mind connected to another mind, hearing somebody else's thoughts, them hearing my thoughts, having these kind of telepathic, I don't want to call it telepathic because it's better than that. It's not like having a conversation in words. It's like having a conversation in love. It's a conversation in love, like it's a relationship in love. It's like a big snuggle puddle, cuddle puddle. You know what a cuddle puddle is? When everybody just piles in, like you get all the kids and they jump on you and they give you all big cuddles and you have this big cuddle puddle in your family living room and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, there's no words. It's just a cuddle puddle. You feel it. And it's like that, but it's in your mind. It's just like this huge cuddle puddle. And it's just like, yay, everybody jump in here and jump on and have a cuddle puddle with us, you know, and like, it's just beautiful. That's what it's like. Getting to that state, getting to that clarity of mind where you can enter into that, unfortunately, seems to require the process of purification when you go through this removal of blocks and this horrible fucking Course in Miracles. It's horrible. Course in Miracles is really, really horrible, but it's the best version of horrible that we've got. Beyond the Course in Miracles is just cuddle puddles of love. It's just lovely. Having to do the work to have that vibration, to have that openness of mind to be able to enter into that, though, that's the valley of the shadow of death. You got to walk through it. Been walking away this way, and then I turn around, I repent, and I walk back the other way. You got to fix all those bridges that you burned, all those judgments you've been casting out. They all come back. It's like, oh, that person's representing this, and that person's that, showing me my, you know, pushing my buttons. And it's like, holy crap, there's jealousy, there's envy. What are those 7 deadly sins? There's really only one. It's an idea of separation taking many forms, but feel it. Feel it in your heart. Shannon, feel it in your heart. Jen, feel it in your heart. Kevin, heart. Bernadette, heart. Barry, Paula, Anna, Tina, Fran, Francois, in the heart. I want to remember love. I want unconditional love. It's all I want. Nothing else makes any sense. What is the point of living in a world that does not represent and reflect back to me the nature of unconditional love? That's all I want. All right, I love you guys. I'm going to call it there. Unless anyone got anything. Kev, you usually got to go a bit early. You got a question? Anything there? No, all good. Feel. All right, feel, get out of that comfort zone. Allow yourself to be threatened by something that seems to push all your buttons. Make that decision. Fuck it, I'm going to take off my clothes and get covered in mud here anyway, like everybody else. As weird as that might seem. I remember thinking, this is just an aside, but I remember thinking it was kind of funny because both the girls doing the mud were quite young and attractive, and they were also naked, and I was hoping like hell I didn't get a boner when they were covering me in the mud, but thankfully I didn't. But I had to confront that fear as well. That would have been embarrassing. Like everything, like the whole, I can see it vividly, you know. It was just a weird, but like, what isn't weird? What is there in the world here that's not weird? Look, there's people living in my street starving, homeless. That's fucking weird. I live in the richest, wealthiest country in the world, and there's all these homeless people. What the hell? How is that even a thing? Racism and all these other isms and everything that's like, who thought of that shit? You know, I've got to put my finger here on my nose. I'm done with that. I just want unconditional love. I just want unconditional love. I'm done with all that dumb crap. The poor will always be amongst you. I can't solve the problems of the world. I'm sure there are people out there that are trying and people out there that think they can, but I can't. Jesus come along and said, give it up, man. It's a dead horse you're flogging. Come home. This is not your home. This is not real, not reality. Don't listen to that voice in your head. Don't trust your senses. Push. All right, I love you guys. Tough one today. Push you right down into the corner. I hope everybody feels it. It's like, you got to feel how tough a gig this is. Like there's a toughness to it, and it's like it really gets you, and it's like, holy fuck, I really have to do this. But remember, with God, all things are possible. I'm not doing it by myself. I've got the Holy Spirit, I've got Jesus, I've got all my brothers, I've got God. In the final moment, I've only got me. But I'm becoming revelation ready. I love you.